You already know walking burns calories, but did you know that a simple 30-minute daily walk can reverse arterial plaque that took 20 years to build? Or that walking is actually more effective at preventing heart attacks than running marathons? We are breaking down the top 10 cardiovascular transformations that happen to your heart when you walk every single day. Some of these are going to sound impossible, like how walking rebuilds damaged artery walls and grows new blood vessels in your heart, but the science backs it up. However, you can't just stroll around the block and expect a miracle. There is a specific method to the madness. If you stick around until the end, we're going to reveal the HEP formula. It's the exact scientific blueprint for heart rate, intensity, and pace that guarantees you protect your cardiovascular system without wasting a second. Here are the 10 physiological shifts that occur when you walk for your heart every day. Benefit 10: the artery wall repair. Let's start with the pipes. A study at Harvard Medical School revealed a terrifying truth. By age 40, microscopic tears in your artery walls have been accumulating for decades. These tears are where plaque takes root. Over 18 million people die from cardiovascular disease every year, and most never saw it coming. But here's the mechanism the industry ignores: endothelial regeneration. Your artery walls are lined with a thin layer of cells called the endothelium. When you walk at a moderate pace, you stimulate the release of nitric oxide. This molecule acts like WD-40 for your arteries. It signals damaged endothelial cells to repair themselves and prevents new tears from forming. Within 90 days of daily walking, studies show measurable improvement in endothelial function. You're not just preventing new damage, you're actively healing the microscopic wounds that have been collecting plaque for years. Benefit 9: the collateral highway construction. This one sounds impossible, but the mechanics are undeniable. Walking builds backup arteries. How? Through a process called angiogenesis. When you walk consistently, your heart muscle experiences mild controlled oxygen demand. Your body interprets this signal as, "We need better blood supply." The Mayo Clinic confirmed the link. Regular walking forces your cardiovascular system to sprout new capillaries and collateral vessels around existing blockages. These are literal backup highways that reroute blood around danger zones. High-intensity sprinting doesn't trigger this. It creates inflammation. Moderate walking builds infrastructure. A 70-year-old daily walker has triple the collateral circulation of a sedentary 40-year-old. That's why they survive heart attacks that would kill younger, inactive people. You are literally growing a safety net inside your chest, one step at a time. Benefit 8: the blood pressure reset. We've been brainwashed to believe you need intense cardio to lower blood pressure. The American Heart Association debunked this. Walking 30 minutes daily lowers blood pressure as effectively as medication, without the side effects. Here's the mechanism: arterial compliance restoration. When you walk, the rhythmic contraction of your leg muscles acts like a secondary pump. It pushes blood back to your heart, reducing the pressure load on your arterial walls. Over time, this mechanical stimulus makes your arteries more elastic. They stop being rigid pipes and become flexible vessels that adapt to blood flow. Studies show that within 8 weeks, daily walkers drop their systolic pressure by 10 to 15 points. You're not masking hypertension with pills. You're mechanically restoring the hydraulic flexibility your arteries had when you were 20. Benefit 7: the cholesterol particle transformation. Standard cholesterol tests lie. They measure total LDL, but that's meaningless. What matters is particle size. Small, dense LDL particles are like BBs. They penetrate artery walls and oxidize into plaque. Large, fluffy LDL particles are harmless beach balls. They float past. Here's the hidden mechanism: HDL cholesterol amplification. When you walk, your muscles demand energy. Your body responds by increasing HDL, the good cholesterol that acts like a vacuum cleaner in your bloodstream. A study in the Journal of Lipid Research showed that walkers increased HDL by 8% in just 12 weeks. Higher HDL grabs oxidized LDL particles and transports them to the liver for disposal. You're not just lowering bad cholesterol, you're activating your body's built-in arterial cleaning crew. You are reverse engineering plaque formation. Benefit 6: the inflammation purge. Your arteries are war zones. Chronic inflammation is the invisible accelerant. It turns harmless cholesterol into arterial cement. A study in Circulation tracked 15,000 people. Those with elevated CRP, C-reactive protein, had triple the heart attack risk, even with normal cholesterol. But here is the suppressed truth. Systemic inflammation reduction. Walking triggers the release of anti-inflammatory cytokines. These molecules travel through your bloodstream and shut down inflammatory hotspots in your artery walls. Within 30 days of daily walking, CRP levels drop by 20 to 30%. The Cleveland Clinic confirmed this. You're not just reducing a biomarker. You're extinguishing the fire that transforms stable plaque into a ruptured time bomb. You are calling a ceasefire in a cellular war you didn't know was raging. Benefit 5. The platelet pacification. Your blood is a loaded gun. Platelets are designed to clot instantly when you're cut. But in modern sedentary humans, they're hyperreactive. They clump together at the slightest provocation, waiting for a plaque rupture so they can seal it shut and kill you. Here's what they don't tell you. Platelet aggregation. Inhibition. When you walk regularly, you reduce something called platelet reactivity. Your platelets become less sticky. They stop forming dangerous microclots that can trigger heart attacks. A study in thrombosis research showed that daily walkers had 25% lower platelet activation markers compared to sedentary controls. You're not thinning your blood with drugs. You're reprogramming your platelets to stop overreacting. You are disarming the biological trigger mechanism that turns a small arterial tear into sudden death. Benefit 4. The insulin resistance reversal. Diabetes and heart disease are not separate. They're the same metabolic fire. High blood sugar caramelizes your LDL cholesterol, turning it into arterial superglue. 88 million Americans are pre-diabetic. Most don't know it. Here's the mechanism: glucose uptake efficiency. When you walk, your muscles become hungry. They pull glucose out of your bloodstream without needing insulin. This gives your pancreas a break. Over time, your cells become more sensitive to insulin. Duke University proved that walkers improved glucose tolerance 6 times more than runners. You're not just lowering blood sugar. You're restoring your body's ability to process carbohydrates without creating the inflammatory, oxidative storm that destroys your arteries. You are extinguishing the metabolic fire before it burns your cardiovascular system. Benefit 3. The heart muscle efficiency upgrade. Your heart is a pump. If you don't train it, it becomes weak and inefficient. It beats 100,000 times a day. When it's untrained, every beat is a struggle. When it's conditioned through walking, every beat becomes effortless. Here's the mechanism: stroke volume amplification. When you walk consistently, your heart adapts. The left ventricle, the main pumping chamber, physically enlarges. It can pump more blood with each beat. This means your resting heart rate drops. Studies show walkers reduce resting heart rate by 10 to 15 beats per minute. That's 14,000 fewer beats per day. You're giving your heart a lifetime of rest while it's still working. Over 30 years, that's 150 million fewer contractions. You're not just exercising, you're mechanically extending the lifespan of the engine that keeps you alive. Benefit 2. The cardiac rhythm stabilization. Arrhythmias, irregular heartbeats, are silent killers. Atrial fibrillation increases stroke risk by 500%. Most people don't know they have it until it's too late. Sedentary lifestyles create electrical instability in the heart. Here's the solution: autonomic nervous system balance. Your heart is controlled by 2 opposing forces: the sympathetic nervous system, fight or flight, and the parasympathetic nervous system, rest and digest. Modern stress overstimulates the sympathetic side. Walking activates the vagus nerve, the master controller of the parasympathetic system. A study in the European Journal of Preventive Cardiology showed that daily walkers reduced atrial fibrillation episodes by 40%. You're not masking the problem with medication. You're restoring the electrical balance that keeps your heart beating in perfect rhythm. Benefit number 1, the sudden death prevention. Finally, the ultimate outcome. For 50% of men, the first symptom of heart disease is sudden death. No warning, no second chance. The Framingham Heart Study followed 5,000 people for 70 years. Those who walked 30 minutes daily had a 40% lower risk of sudden cardiac death. But here's the mechanism nobody talks about: plaque stabilization. Not all plaques are equal. Stable plaques are calcified and harmless. Unstable plaques are soft, inflamed, and ready to rupture. Walking reduces inflammation, which stabilizes dangerous plaques. It's the thin-capped, inflamed plaques at 40% blockage that kill you, not the 90% stable blockages you can feel. Walking doesn't just prevent plaque, it transforms dangerous plaques into stable ones. You're not avoiding heart disease. You're chemically and mechanically neutralizing the assassin before it strikes. Now, before you lace up your shoes, listen to me. Most people fail because they walk wrong, or they treat it like a casual hobby. Do not stroll while scrolling on your phone. That is not walking. That is distraction with movement. Do not wear flat, unsupportive shoes. You will destroy your joints. Do not do this sporadically. The magic is in the consistency. Let's talk hippie formula. You made it to the end. Now I'm going to give you the blueprint. You don't just go for a walk. You execute a cardiovascular protocol. This is the hippie formula. It stands for heart rate, intensity, and pace. If you violate these variables, you are wasting your time. Factor 1, heart rate. This is non-negotiable. You need to hit the zone 2 target. That's 60 to 70% of your maximum heart rate. To calculate max heart rate, subtract your age from 220. If you're 50, your max is a 170. Your zone 2 target is 102 to 119 beats per minute. You should be able to hold a conversation, but you shouldn't want to. If you can sing, you're too slow. If you're gasping, you're too fast. Get a cheap heart rate monitor. Track it. You are training your cardiovascular system, not just burning calories. Factor 2, intensity. This is where people get lazy. A leisurely stroll is useless for arterial repair. You need purposeful movement. Swing your arms, engage your core, drive from your hips. Keep your spine straight and shoulders back. You should feel your glutes and hamstrings working. If you're just moving your lower legs, you're walking wrong. The intensity comes from full body engagement. This increases calorie burn by 15% and activates more muscle groups, which amplifies insulin sensitivity. Factor 3, pace. The magic number is 30 minutes minimum. That's the threshold where nitric oxide release peaks and endothelial repair kicks in. Aim for 3 to 4 miles per hour. That's roughly 100 steps per minute. You can start with 15 minutes if you're weak, but you must build to 30. Do not obsess over 10,000 steps immediately. Start with 6,000. Build up weekly. Consistency beats intensity. A daily 30-minute walk will outperform a weekly 2-hour hike. Execution rules. Morning is best. It resets your circadian rhythm and primes your metabolism for the day. Drink 16 ounces of water before you walk. Dehydration thickens your blood and increases clot risk. Walk fasted if possible. This forces your body to burn fat and triggers autophagy, the cellular cleanup process. Do it at the same time every day. Your body adapts to routine. Habit beats motivation every single time. You have the diagnosis, you have the science, and now you have the formula. The pharmaceutical industry wants you on blood thinners and statins for life. The medical system wants you to wait until you need a stent. The food industry wants you sedentary and sick, but you don't have to play that game. You can choose to ignore the warnings and let the plaque grow. You can choose to believe that genetics determine your fate, or you can stand up, put on your shoes, and take back control of your cardiovascular system, one step at a time. Do not wait for chest pain. By the time you feel it, half your artery is already blocked. Start today. If you are ready to commit to the HiPE formula, I want you to comment, "I'm walking," down below, so we can see who is really serious about their survival. Hit the like button to spread this truth. Subscribe and turn on notifications because we are just getting started uncovering the cardiovascular secrets they don't teach in cardiology textbooks. Stay moving, stay alive.